Michael, good afternoon, firstly.
Good afternoon.
How frustrating was Saturday?
Yeah, it was very frustrating because, we, first of all, got drawn into, a little bit of a battle that we had emphasised before the game, how the game would be. I think playing into the breeze probably made that a little bit more difficult for us in the first half as well. But, we conceded too many free kicks, too many stupid free kicks as well. And ultimately that led to us losing the first goal. We created one or two good chances in the first half ourselves. But second half, when you create the number of chances we had and not to go level in the game with the opportunities we had was very frustrating. And then to lose a goal on the counter-attack. So, yeah, we had a lot of dominance in the game, I felt, a lot of possession, a lot of attempts on goal. But ultimately, we came away with nothing. So on days like that, it is very frustrating.
And I imagine that only worse than when you come in and see the results elsewhere, that some of the teams below you have picked up points.
Yeah, well, look, I don't really focus too much on that, to be honest. And we have to look after ourselves. So that's the reality of the situation. I don't want them, and I've said to the players, I don't want them to be a mindset where we're looking for favours, and that's certainly we're not intending to go that way. We believe that we've more than enough in this squad to get the required number of points to stay in the championship. But equally, we have to make sure that our performances and when the opportunity's there that we take advantage of those opportunities. We didn't do that on Saturday.
And obviously, look at the next two matches against teams in and around the area in the table. It's important that you take something positive from these two matches.
Well, I think the most important game is always the next one. Simple as that. I think what we are finding, and all the teams are probably finding, is that in the current climate there isn't a real advantage home or away. There doesn't appear to be. It's really about on the day and how you perform on the day. But certainly you're right with the teams. It's got very congested between the team in the bottom position in the league and up to as high as maybe 7 or 8 off the bottom. So we've only dropped one place in the league. We haven't fallen into the bottom 3, but maybe that little cushion of 4 points or whatever it was, or 3 points, is no longer there for us. So we have to make sure that, as I say, the most important thing is to win the next game, and that's obviously Wigan on Tuesday night.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Hi there, Steve here from ITV. Frustrating to pick up on what you said to Nick, really. Quite frustrating that you had that really decent run going on and then to lose a game like that. You've got to pick the players up from that, I guess. Yeah,
I think so. But listen, the players aren't under any illusions that the situation we're in, and people say we're in a relegation scrap. We've been in a relegation scrap since the moment I walked through the door, and that's reality since November. 17th before lockdown was the highest league position we've had all season. We're now 18th, so that's the reality of the situation as well. So, yeah, look, I think you were never knowing how your team was going to perform coming out. I think all the managers were the same coming out of the situation we're in, coming and playing in empty stadiums, all of those kind of things. There's been a lot of things in the two games that we've been pleased about, but equally there's been things that we haven't been pleased about. Saturday was a good indication of a team that, a lot of the problems were self-inflicted, and then as a result of that, we lose the game. So those are the things we have to address, obviously, in the remaining games.
Stoke did beat Wigan earlier in the season. What do you think of Wigan as a side?
I think they're good. I know how Paul likes his teams to play. They'll be very hard-working. They'll press the ball a lot. They've got a big man up front, so by nature they go long at times. But they do play in the opposition half as well. They've got, a little bit of movement around Kiefer Moore in terms of Jamal Lowe, Pilkington, or whoever else they may choose to play in those areas. And they're on a great run. I think they've had 6 clean sheets, which in itself is testament to, how they are defensively as well. I think if you look at the game on Saturday, for example, they're capable of scoring against the run of play. Blackburn had a lot of dominance in the second half. A little bit similar to our game in many ways, but equally, they'll be coming into the game knowing that, they're probably, a victory or a couple of victories away from securing their own championship future. So there's a lot at stake for both teams.
And obviously, you've got these couple of games coming up against those teams around you, but then in the final run-in, you've got the likes of Brentford, Forest, Leeds, you've got really tough teams from the top end. So I guess it's picking up points is even more important in those games where you may feel you've got a better chance.
Well, yeah, I think so. But I think that in the current climate, it's not. I think the games are very, very finely balanced, to be honest. You look at the number of games that are decided by a set piece, or the opening goal is a set piece, for example. Even our own game on Saturday is an example of that. There's such a fine line between so many of the teams, and we've had dominance in both games in terms of possession. We had just under 60% against Reading rather. We had just under 70 on Saturday. So I think we're capable of playing against the teams at the top end of the table as well. So we're not dwelling on that really. What we have to do is get a win under our belts after lockdown, and Wigan presents us with that opportunity. If you look at on form, going back possibly, Wigan are actually one of the form teams in the division. So whilst their league position may not tell us that at this minute in time, this game will be equally as hard as playing a team higher up in the league.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
Michael, you said at the press conference before the game at the weekend that it was going to be a big week. It's got even bigger now with the result, but there were positives out of that game. You must have obviously taken the positives, because we had a lot of shooting opportunities and a lot of gilt-edged chances.
Yeah, we've shown that back to the players, and what you do in these situations when you go behind in a game like this, and a home game as well. You don't have the advantage of the home support, so that makes it can make it a little bit more difficult to claw your way back into the game. And we had numerous opportunities to get level. I believe if we'd have got level, we would have gone on and won the game, but we didn't. So it wasn't like possibly earlier games in the season where we maybe had a lot of the ball and didn't create very much. We created a number of opportunities, very clear-cut opportunities. So we know that, given the same opportunities again tomorrow night against Wigan, we'll have to do better.
And do we have any injuries as a result of Saturday? Because obviously you're going to have to make one change anyway, with Powell not being available.
No, we've no additional injury problems. Jordan Cousins will be better for the period he was on the pitch. Ryan has trained yesterday and today, so we're hopeful that he'll be available for selection as well.
Do you sense that since lockdown there's been a change in attitude of the players? People were saying on Saturday that they didn't look quite as much of a team as they had done previously. Do you think that's inevitable given the 3 months off?
Possibly, yeah, but I'm not sure that's correct. Certainly since we've come back, the training's been excellent. They've worked extremely hard. The mood in the group's been good as well. And I think sometimes there's an overreaction to the result rather than at times the performance. And on Saturday, we had a great chance to get 3 points and push our way up the league. We didn't take that. The damage that we did was pretty much self-inflicted. As I said, poor goal to lose off a set piece that was given away very unnecessarily, and then caught on the counter when at a stage in the game where we should have been at least level in the game. So look, players are affected by those things, of course, but I don't have any concerns about where the team is in terms of its spirit or togetherness. We just have to make sure, as I say, that we maintain our level of performance, but equally be a little bit more clinical in the final third.
And how's training on today? I presume you've changed on the pitch in the stadium?
Yeah, we trained here at the stadium today. It was good. You can't do very much in the turnaround time. Obviously, it's essentially 48 hours turnaround time. Is not that much between Saturday to Tuesday and the ability to work. But we've done a lot of work off the pitch in terms of reviewing the game on Saturday, reviewing the opposition, and then doing through obviously going through a lot of shape and set pieces here out in the pitch. So it was a low-key session in terms of intensity, but there was a lot of information in it, which obviously you have to try and get into the players before the game tomorrow night.
And the last one from me, you hinted after Saturday that you were going to maybe have to freshen up the team because you weren't happy with the performance. So have you got your plans afoot then? Are you going to give people a chance that maybe are champing at the bit who haven't been on since lockdown?
Well, yeah, I think you have to do that anyway. I mean, we've only had 2 games, so you have to be mindful of that as well. We But I think it was always going to be a situation where we're going to have to change the team regardless potentially of results as well, because players are coming back. They're still finding their game legs a little bit. And, you know, freshness will be important in all of the games. We're now going in a situation where, you know, we're playing every midweek. So that'll continue. It would be nice to be able to name the same 11 over and over again, but that's not going to be possible. So, yeah, we look to put a team, and we know the team that we have in mind to play tomorrow night.
Well, I think it's 8 matches in 25 days, but you know, if you win the next one, that's all that matters. So good luck.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Angela.
Michael, returning briefly to Saturday's game, the first sort of 20, 25 minutes, I was getting very conflicting views. I was listening to a lot of the commentators who were reckoning with Stoke were playing fairly well and they were quite satisfied. But I was watching your body language on the touchline, and it was clear that you were not happy with the way that the game was unfolding in the first 20 minutes. What were you thinking at that time?
Well, the most disappointing thing, well, first of all, a big factor, one of the factors was we had to play into quite a strong breeze. It maybe isn't evident until you're in the stadium that you'd be aware of that. So we knew that we would have to face a lot of direct football, which we did, but we just gave away too many free kicks, unnecessary free kicks, which meant that we then had to deal with the ball coming in our box. Physically, Middlesbrough were bigger than us. I think possibly based on the players they had available, they picked the biggest team they had available. And we then, you know, we lose a goal off a free kick. If you look where the free kick's conceded, it's right on the touchline. The player's going nowhere, and it's a stupid foul. And then suddenly you find yourself a goal behind. And some of our play to that point had been good. I think at times we could have been braver on the ball to play out from the back. You know, we had opportunities to play, particularly down the right-hand side of the pitch, and we didn't take that. And we had to obviously address that in the water break and going forward into half-time as well.
Fans are particularly nervous about the drop. They've felt that we were coming into these games on a fairly high. They're now getting very nervous. What reassurance can you give to fans?
That the team will be extremely well prepared and ready to play.